Okay, welcome everyone to the second Cube Community podcast titled CubeCast. It's a very relevant name. Um, so this week we don't have as many people. We a couple issues here and there, but we have me, Amanatsu, Danny, Cheesy is our special guest, and Hoppaw. So we'll just do another introduction here. We'll go right down the line. Talk a little bit about ourselves and what we do. I am Amanatsu, and as far as Cube Community goes, I mean, I do a lot of different things. I do some Discord management, some HR, PR stuff. I write up a lot of the things that are used on the channel and like in the Discord descriptions and things.
Yeah,
Um,
scripts and stuff like that.
yeah, I've also been handling most of the tournament things. Set up pools. Pug's been helping me a lot with that too. I did most of the organizational stuff for the tournament. I did the setup, the rules doc, and things like that. So I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff mostly. I don't really touch the videos though. And for other things I do outside of Cube Community, I mean, I'm on the ranking team with Hoppaw. That's a whole nother thing that just takes a long time out of my daily life. So that's what I do.
Busy.
We'll just go down the line here, and we'll have Danny go next.
Yeah, so I'm Danny or Danny Hopper. I do almost all the videos on Cube Community, every daily one. Deal with all the submissions, anything to do with the YouTube. I deal with all of that stuff. So managing all of that, making sure they all go up on time, all are edited correctly, audio is good, and whatnot. Dealing with the peoples, making sure that everyone's doing what they should be, everything's running smoothly. Discord stuff, making sure Discord is running permissions, bots are doing what the bots should do, and all of that kind of jazz, really. Yeah, that's all I do, really. Just editing all the time. That's what seems to be watching Beat Saber, editing Beat Saber, but not playing Beat Saber. That's all I do. What about you, Cheesy?
Who plays Beat Saber?
Yeah, who plays Beat Saber?
I'm kind of just your average dumbass that used to play, and I peaked at rank 6, and then I became washed up, so now I PP map instead to make players hate me.
Perfect. All right, Hoppa.
Hey, I'm Hoppaw. I'm on the ranking team, and I don't often do much for Cube Community, but if they need like clean gameplay for like an update video, I'll provide some.
Yeah.
And sometimes I submit stuff to Cube Community.
Yeah, you've had a few videos on the channel, some plays.
Cool.
Yeah, feels bad.
Well, you didn't even submit any, did you?
No, yeah, he submitted one and it got fucking sniped by Atomic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I literally had it rendered, all done, Cheesy's first video ready to go up on the channel, and then Atomic comes in and fucking snipes your score with DAFs on. Yeah.
I was
Feels
like,
fucking
hey,
bad.
maybe I should play again, and then I was like, never mind, back to mapping.
Feels bad. Yeah.
All right. So, just like last week, like 2 weeks ago, I guess at this point, I want to talk a little about what's going on in Cube Community first. So, like I was mentioning earlier, we do have a lot of the tournament stuff going on right now. It's been like a huge focus for me.
Keeping you very
Dates
busy.
are end of the month / beginning of April, however you want to define that. But just finished all the pools, released them today. There was pretty mostly positive feedback, I think.
Yeah, it took a
bit
long
here
time.
and there, but yeah, it took me. I honestly wanted to have it out a week before, but I needed more time, and I had to test things. And then I even changed half of a pool yesterday because I was like, "Wait, this is not good." So that's been a huge thing. I finally got it out though, and I don't think I'll have to do a lot of changes. I'm just waiting for re-uploads and things, so
Yeah.
it should be fine. Um, multiplayer has been going really well
Yeah.
in Cube Community. Atomic, Calvin, Muffin,
Bagel as well.
who else do we have? Bagel, yep.
Yeah.
Kenny hasn't been around a lot, but he's also like Australian, so he's like upside down, right? So
Yeah.
But they've been doing a good job running everything, hosting everything. It's like a lot of positive feedback from it. People show up, they have fun.
Yeah.
We've been doing the weekly
MVPs.
multi MVP. Yep,
Pink
that's
roll in
people-
Discord. So
people think that's cool. I think,
Yeah.
and no negative feedback on it at least. I mean, I think that's all that's really been going on lately inside Cube Community.
Yeah,
we went over 400 members now.
yeah,
That's
in
really
the
cool.
Discord. That's insane. Considering we only have 800
Bugger.
subs on YouTube, like half
Yeah.
of them are in the Discord. It's quite.
Yeah, there's half
Yeah.
of the subs that we have on YouTube are also in Discord. I would
Yeah.
imagine is the same number, but
hmm
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of those might not be subs though because of the
True.
tournament.
Yeah, we posted the tournament on
Yeah.
Reddit, and we had a lot of traffic from Reddit coming into the
Yeah, we
Discord.
got like since I've posted it on Reddit, we got like over 100 people that joined the Discord. So that was crazy. I don't think they're all from that, but
No, but
I don't know.
yeah, a lot of
It's
them,
crazy.
a lot of them are here just for the tournament, if that makes sense. Like I've heard about the
Yeah, like
tournament, I've
spectating and stuff.
found out about Cube Community from the tournament, and want to keep up to date with it. Yeah, we really pushed the tournament out on the Twitter, Reddit, and everything.
Yeah,
I guess
trying to get it.
this
It
opportunity,
actually got too big.
yeah, we had to cap it. Make sure that
Oh,
make sure that we didn't try and bite off too much.
Yeah, the original feedback was it was something like 40-ish people for the 150, 1 to
Yeah.
150, and then like maybe 30 for the 150 plus, and then I
Yeah.
have 90 signups. So
Yeah,
90
Just to
signups
keep-
just for 150. So
Yeah,
it's
150 plus.
crazy.
It's going to be a learning experience.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. Honestly, like I'm not really that concerned. It's
No.
just I feel worst about the fact that I can't include everyone that signed up.
Yeah.
If I had known, I could have planned like a group stages.
Yeah, and have like qualifiers and stuff like that. Even.
And then could have been like a week long thing,
Mhm.
qualifiers.
Yeah.
They seed into like a 32 size bracket or something. But
Yeah.
it's I know for next time. So it is what it is. Last thing I guess about the tournament is Taichi, the Japanese player. He's like is he number one? Still,
I think
Number
he's
one JP.
yeah number one
He's
or
number one
two.
JP.
Number one.
I think he's
He's
number
number
two. I'm
two in
pretty
the
sure
world?
Calling
Okay.
took it back recently.
Okay, yeah.
They're
So-
basically all number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone can be number
Yeah.
one.
It depends
at
who's
that- at
PP farm the at the latest, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Taichi's rank 1 right now.
Oh, is he?
Okay, nice, yeah.
Booger.
So yeah, Taichi made a post on Twitter how he wanted to join the Cube Community tournament, but he didn't know how to get in because he doesn't speak any English. So I had
Fortunately enough,
I-
we
I
know
had-
someone who does speak Japanese.
so I translated the sign up page for him, and he got signed up. And then I had one of my friends from Japan. I used to work with him when I did anime fan subs, and he translated everything, whole page for me. Did like a brand new sheet. I posted it. So hopefully Taichi will participate in the whole thing. It's really cool.
SMH Elite Weeb.
Yeah.
Dude, actually,
To be fair, it means that
one
like
time-
no one is secured
time
that
I-
number one badge now for the tournament.
I DM'd Taichi one time, and it's the one time I DM'd Taichi, and I don't know why I did it, but I just said, "You're my senpai. I love you, senpai." And he responded with, "Okay, scared emoji." So I don't think he likes me anymore.
That's funny. Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be cool though because I think it opens up like an avenue for like more Japanese players if they want to participate in like
Yeah.
tournaments and things. Because even like the doc that I put out, like you could reuse that for so many things. Like there's so
Mhm.
much good information if you know what you're looking through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much information on there. So
Yeah.
very cool. I'm excited for that. That's all the inside Cube Community stuff I have. I don't know if you have anything else going on you want to talk about.
Nothing really. Channel's been doing well. The YouTube that is. Gained a lot of subs recently because of the tournament. A lot more exposure. Views have been going up a lot. We average over 1,000 a day now, which is nice. From like old videos that are like still getting a lot of traction, like the Happy song from Atomic. That's our most viewed at the moment. Yeah, and some other stuff that keeps getting a lot of traction. Trying to do 2 videos a day on certain days, which would be nice. I saw some positive feedback from a few people in the community that they're liking the 2 video uploads. The only problem is it's a lot more work. It's literally doubling the workload. But recently we've had a lot of submissions.
Yeah, a lot of people said that they were like they were really, they thought it was really cool to see 2 a day. Obviously, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
they were excited.
Yeah. Also, I started streaming like my editing, which is like more motivation for me to actually edit more, if that makes sense. Yeah,
I'm the same way with mapping. If I really want to like bang out a map, I have to turn on stream, or else I won't do it. So.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do with editing. When I'm feeling like, I really should just edit like 8 or so videos right now, but I'm like not that motivated. Just turn on stream, like put some chill music on, and just have a few people hang out. Yeah.
I honestly can't fucking stand mapping streaming because like I like putting dumb fucking patterns in my maps. Like I'll just randomly throw in Kizu doubles and it's like and then people will be like, "What are you doing? I hate you. Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, let me map."
I don't like mapping when I light because my lights are really, really bad.
I just don't light. I just eat that shit in the light map and throw it up on Beat Saber, dude.
I like to do some lighting, but like I don't like streaming it because I'm so bad.
You should because your maps get quite popular now, especially now that a lot of them are ranked.
I'm gonna light my next map.
Or just reach out to some lighters. I'm sure they would like help you out.
I'll probably just ask Buds to help me. But like, fucking, it's by the same dude who did Happy songs, so some of the lights are gonna be Monka as fuck.
Oh yeah, it's the same producer, right?
Yeah, the fucking million O's, dude.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything more inside CC stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything lately with anything? Got anything going on?
What do you, I mean, school.
Like okay. I mean, like, are you doing it? Like, you're mapping a lot lately, right? That's your thing.
I'm mapping like all the time. I have like that's on the back burner. I am trying to make a rankable Nisei Mono, and I'm basically just took Hex's map and made it rankable. I sent it to him, and he was just like, "Yeehaw, partner."
Yeah.
But I'm working on like 800,000 different maps, and I'm just like doing a little bit of each one each day, and then like randomly I'll be like, "Hey, this song's cool," and then I'll bang out a map in 3 hours and upload it, and then I'm like, "Hey, that map sucked. I'm gonna take it down and upload it again with like 2 changes that make the map 100 times better and wipe all the scores."
Nice.
That's the best way to do it.
It'd be nice to get in like a map system like Osu at some point where you can just make changes in a work in progress state.
Yeah, it'd be very nice. Oh, speaking of mapping and like works in progress, I saw a cool thing that Colazan did on a map that he sent me the other day. You know how Kyle was playing with the mods where you could have like a little red like circle that's like you don't have the correct modifier to play this song or whatever, like for 6 lanes and stuff. You can make that say work in progress, and it grays out the play button. You cannot play the song. You have to
practice.
You have to do practice. Yeah.
It's fucking
it's really cool. I went to click it and I was like, "What?" He just sent me like a 6-lane map, and then I looked at the info and it was like work in progress, and then it was great. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest challenge for me as a mapper is finding someone to fucking playtest my map that isn't in the mapping Discord, because most of the people in the mapping Discord are like, "This map's too hard. Please make it easier." And then if you go to Twitch, it's like either you'll get someone who can't play the map, or it'll be like some dude who like plays the map and then pauses halfway through and it just like looks and talks to chat for 20 minutes and then plays the rest of the map. And he's like, "I don't know what I just played." And then
they're not concentrating on the map, they're concentrating on stream. Yeah.
It's tough, and like I feel that too, because when I I rarely stream Beat Saber these days, but when I do, so many mappers come in and they're like, "Hey, can you play this? Hey, can you play this?" Because like they know like I'm on the ranking
that you're going to
and they
give
can
them
never
actual
get people
feedback
to play the songs. I get all just constantly like complete my map, which is like fine, but it's like there just needs to be like a better outlet for these things.
Yeah.
You know?
I just know when certain streamers stream, so I'm like, I'm gonna get this much of the map done before this time, and then when he starts streaming, I'm just gonna tell him play my map, smile, and then they do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, thanks. And then usually they tell me something, I'm like, I kind of like how bad that is, so I keep it in even though it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of touchy with with mapping and things because it's like you might find stuff when you're going through and you're like reviewing a map and you say like, oh, this is like rankable, but like feels weird, and so it's like some mappers will say like, well, if you know it's rankable, so I want to keep it in, I like it, and you know some people be like, oh, I'll make it how other people like, you know, so
Yeah.
Yeah, on my newest map by the Dude Who Made Happy song, there's some Pega patterns in there, and Golf is like, what the fuck, is that a square? It's not a square. It actually flows really well, but there's not a single person I think that's gonna sight read that pattern.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That'd be interesting.
Hoppaw, you doing anything lately? Any projects? Anything going on?
Not in particular.
Just
Okay.
ranking team stuff.
More ranking stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put a lot of stuff in queues, so.
Yeah, I put Kickus released like 5 maps. I put 4 of them in queue. So.
I think,
Did you see that he also reworked another one of his maps? The crispy Ascalon or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. He's got a couple he wants to do, but there's a new Path of Exile season came out, so he's out. He's MIA for a week.
that seems to happen to a lot of people
yeah.
though. Like whatever they played a lot before Beat Saber, it's like as soon as something new comes out for that, they just disappear from Beat Saber community for a little bit, and then come back. It's like,
I think-
oh, I'm still alive, by the way.
Or be
I
like
think my
Sticky and just
notoriety-
disappear over nothing.
Yeah,
think my-
yeah, just disappear. Like put a bounty on your map, have the bounty end, and then just not turn up for a month. Just.
I think my notoriety is probably gonna go up pretty soon if my maps get ranked, especially We Are Not Cursed in the newest one.
Oh,
'Cause,
people aren't going to like
people
those
are-
doubles.
People are gonna fucking hate those, but I fucking love that shit. Where like I don't like the doubles where it's like, hey, these blocks are running into my sabers, and I don't even need to see what direction or what color it is. I just need to swing outward and then inward. So basically, I've been having a fuckload of crossovers where you're like, and then like. But I always make sure that there's at least some pattern to it. So it's like once you know what it is, it's really easy to FC. Like, I made sure on We Are Not Cursed and the newest one that isn't released yet. I was like, all right, if I can FC this 5 times in a row, then it's good enough. And then I did that. So I was like, good enough.
Yeah, that was it's like when I made the opening for Blue Nation, and I was like, this might be
So
too
Baker.
big brain for
Yeah.
the like time period. I was like, it just might, people just might not
Yeah,
be able to do it. And then
One thing
I
that
opened
like,
it.
confirmed that for me was that when Orange couldn't do it, like on a side
Uh,
read.
I opened it up and I sight read it the first time FC, and I was like, okay, it's fine. Like it's good.
Yeah, like I think I sent you the doubles pattern in that fucking that so map, right? The one that with Golfa, and he's
Yeah.
just like, whoa. He's like, that scared me. I don't know what that was, but I didn't like it. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah, pretty great, excellent. Okay, so let's talk a little. There's a lot of official Beat Saber news lately.
Vulgar.
So there's a huge update coming out on the 14th of March, and I'm just going to run through it, all the bullet points, and then we will discuss it. So, number 1, we get campaign finally from PSVR. 2, we get the 5 tracks from the OST Volume 2 pack. We get they said there's their first music pack will be released, so that's, I'm assuming, some kind of DLC pack. Then there's going to be some major UI changes and tweaks, which we saw a little bit of on their Twitter, and we can put it up right here right now. And so it's important. So things to note about the UI changes. It looks like there's a bar underneath the main like the main menu screen where you can see like DLC packs and like other things on there that you can download through them.
Yeah.
It looks like and then the song layout, like the song selection layout, was extremely different. Like the mode selection was like on the right hand side, and there was a big preview panel, and then there was like a song selector like list, um, like old Guitar Hero songs. Um, uh, so let's talk about all those first, and then there's two other things that I want to talk about. So we'll just go right down, or you can like jump in whenever. What do you guys think about all that stuff coming out?
I think it's good that they're bringing it to PC, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be like the end all, if that makes sense. Like, there's a bit of hype around it, but no one's going to be that excited because we have so much more. If that makes sense, it's massive for PSVR, but it's like just a drop in the ocean for us with all of our custom songs, custom mods, all the custom stuff that we have. It's like it'd be interesting to see who plays the campaign and what it's about and stuff, but I don't think it's going to break waves. If that makes sense. Just another
I wonder if we'll
see
like any big songs in the music pack.
Maybe. I see.
I couldn't care fucking less. Maybe I'll do a campaign on legendary mode or something. I don't fucking know, dude.
I think a lot of people have been talking about like well, we mentioned it briefly last time I think we were on the podcast, because there's like a lot of artists are like starting to get into OST songs for Beat Saber now. Like they did the thing with League of Legends. They're not all original like
songs
beat
just for Beat Saber,
anymore. So Camellia has been really popular on Beat Saber lately, and I think we touched on it briefly last time.
Fucking love Camellia, dude.
It'd be very cool if they worked with him on something.
Yeah, that'd be
Sands
so cool.
in Africa. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
the Ricardo flick, you got that? Oh my god, Paul, so good.
Yeah. I'd love to see that at Beat Games. Please, please reach out.
Yes,
to
please.
Just go into
Camellia
Camelia's
OST would be so good.
Just go into his Discord and be like, hello, whenever he's talking.
I can guarantee right now, if someone from Beat Games went into like and talked to Camellia and they were like, "Hey, we want to make a song," he'd be like, "Yeah, let's go." Like
that's so good. The problem is then, which one of the official mappers maps Camellia? I feel like they have to hire Hex.
They hire Hexagon.
Yeah, just hire Hex. Get Hex to make the Camellia map. Yeah.
The commission
Hire
Hex.
me, Smile.
Yeah.
And then we'll rank it.
I'll put some Kizu doubles in there.
Nice. Yeah, and then we rank the OST song. Yes. Excellent. You just see someone post that, please, in the like rank request channel, please rank the OST.
Yeah.
I will probably end up buying the DLC thing if that's what it is, because I don't know if I'll play it much, but it supports Beat Games, and
I would do the same. I think
that just means more content for us. So
I'll probably ask someone to give me money so I can do it.
Yeah,
just put it on your stream donation.
Hi, Cheesy.
Give me money, please.
Yeah, I'll definitely buy it because I've had a lot of enjoyment out of Beat Saber. Like I've played over 200 hours, and I know Hoppa's played over 800. So it's like we play a lot of the games, so it's definitely worth to just throw money at them more.
How many do I have now?
How many hours?
900, right?
I'm at
830 right now.
Our hours. Oh, I had like 400.
I hit 200 in September. I've played 30 hours since September, dude. 30.
Too many community things.
Well, I
played 30 hours at fucking TwitchCon.
Man.
Yeah.
So there's just two more quick things I want to touch on for official news, and then we kind of slide on from that. So I know PSVR is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Beat Saber, but it's a thing. So cool thing that happened. Beat Saber was the #1 downloaded game on PSVR in February. So
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
No, not surprising.
It's definitely gonna happen.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the best VR game.
For that.
It's literally the VR game.
Yeah.
If you have VR, if you don't have Beat Saber, you're actually insane. So.
Yeah. Especially in PSVR. Like, what the fuck else are you gonna play?
There's nothing.
VR.
Skyrim.
What do you play on PSVR?
I don't fucking know. Dude, whatever that game, that one game,
VR game of the year,
that
VR exclusive. Fucking Jesus,
bad.
that's so. Oh, yikes.
Well, and then just another PSVR thing. Beat Saber was officially released in Japan and the rest of Asia on
Pogger,
PSVR.
Taichi can
So
actually play now.
very cool. Thank you, Beat Games.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Very
P
cool, Beat
Games.
Games.
But no, it is cool. It's getting to more places. And speaking of Asia, they have the who is it? China that has, or is it not? No, is it China, Taiwan, Singapore? It's one of those countries.
Yeah.
They have the Beat Saber arcade machines. Really cool.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Singapore or
Don't they have
Malaysia or
WMR?
something
Okay,
like
Pepe
that. I
Lab.
don't know.
I want
They
to say
have
it's
WMR, Pepe Lab.
Yes, they have WMR.
Yeah,
So.
they have- Has to be kind of affordable
Pepe
for the
left,
air.
WMR. Pepe left, point right, WMR, add orange.
Hello. Imagine getting global #1 with WMR.
Yeah, it happened.
Mhm.
The orange.
Imagine being orange in general
Yeah.
and being literally like top 0.01% at any game you fucking touch.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. Mm.
Yeah, he's good at everything. It's
That was
pretty
bad.
crazy. You know what he's not good at though is mapping dots. So. He's not good at that.
That's what he's best at. He's not good at
Yeah,
mapping
actually,
in general.
you're
Yeah.
right. He is best at mapping dots.
True.
Right here.
Best at mapping dots. My.
Yeah. I think that's all for official news. Unless you guys think of anything else, I think that's everything. Yeah.
That's everything.
So, a couple more things about community, just kind of community stuff in general. There's been a couple new people on the YouTube channel recently because it was like the Fern and Sook highlight channel for a while.
Anatomic.
But there's been a few newer people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Magician
cool.
started sending me a lot more footage now, so you'll see a bit more of Magic Man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more of Magician in general, because he does this thing where when a tournament is announced, he farms like 8 hours a day for the tournament. So, the first what was the tournament? The first one went crazy in that Oros tournament, Elements.
Oh yeah, Elements.
Oh god, that fucking tournament was...
Yeah.
Okay.
So disregarding the fact that it was a whole thing, he literally showed up out of nowhere, and then just like he would get like second place or third place or something. Like,
oh no, that was Diamond, wasn't it? The one before Elements.
You're right. Yeah, it was Diamond. Yeah. It wasn't Elements.
It wasn't Elements. It was Diamond.
That was the one that I wasn't allowed to participate in because I was in the Invitational. Haha.
Yeah,
Megalo.
it was Diamond, and Magician literally, like, I think he got like second or third, and nobody knew him before that. Just nobody.
What a way to make your name.
And now he's still like top 32, like to this day. Very good player. So I would watch out for him in this tournament because he's gonna farm the hardest
out of those maps. Oh my god!
He's gonna farm the hardest. So.
Remember, he beat that rank 3, so he's not exactly
Yeah, he's not bad at all.
I'm the gatekeeper, dude. I'm like, hey, I'm washed up and bad, but I'm still better than most people that are going to be in the early rounds of this tournament. So I'm just going to knock out whoever I can.
Yep. Yeah. I'm interested to see actually if there will be any upsets in the early rounds, because like there are, especially in the 1 to 150 bracket, because that's like the premier bracket, right?
Yeah. The one that most people want to see, I guess.
There are some easier songs in the first few rounds, but like they're not like 2-star AC maps, right? So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if anyone shows up from like the 140, 150 range and like beats someone that's high ranked.
It'd be interesting.
At least they're not playing fucking Believer round 1.
Yeah, I think the puzzles are really well done. Like the difficulty spread, I feel like it's been perfectly, because that's the main complaint everyone has on those tournaments.
Compared
like,
to the other tournaments,
I don't want to be playing AC
like,
maps for
hey, I'm playing
rounds
Believer
when it's really
and now
not
I'm playing Northern Limit.
Yeah. Well, the biggest complaints are always like I had to play maps that were boring, and I had to play the same maps over and over again.
Yeah.
Because like you'll see a lot of tournaments, they have like round 1 and 2 are the same map pool, and then also losers round 1 is the same map pool, and it's like
gets super stale. Everyone has to keep playing these same maps over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you end up playing you play Barry Go 4 times straight, like
Yeah.
like Barry Go. So yeah, that's the first thing I addressed. As you know, I just want to do that, but And then other other exciting community thing. Hoppaw has 100 subs on Twitch. That's
Pog.
crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah,
That's actually insane.
it's insane.
'Cause
Well done.
For
He's,
someone as
he's,
small as me, at least I
Mm.
think.
Yeah.
Dude, you're big in where it matters.
Uh,
Not
Hands up.
like. Oh wait, hold on. Not like. Yeah, never mind.
He's got the emotes.
Yeah,
He's
you're
got
you're
the
addicted to
emotes.
emotes. You've got like so
I
many.
don't know what you're
I
talking
did,
about.
dude.
So many. Yeah, if you're not,
Hoppaw
go
needs,
join Hoppaw's Discord because there's emotes great.
Yeah, he's got all the emotes.
There's emote for
It-
everything.
If
Wait, you have a Discord?
Yeah, yeah, yes, a Discord.
I didn't know you had a Discord.
Yeah, you should join
that's
that.
where all the
You were in
emotes
it
come
before.
I was? When did I when? Huh? Hold on. I'm looking
You took a
this
break
up
from
right
Discord.
now. Wait, I was in it before that? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Way
Hold
back
on.
when.
Way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's pretty notable because there aren't really like a lot of super popular Beat Saber streamers, right? Like you
True.
have
Late Bandit is the best Beat Saber player in the world.
yeah, like you have Bandit who's like he's the most popular streamer because he's the only person that's partnered and gets decent amount of views all the time.
Yeah.
Who plays Beat Saber as like a main game,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Whoops who doesn't even really play much anymore. And then there's no one else. No one's like close, right?
Azer.
So,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
we've got
Azer
Azer
recently
now.
switched to Beat Saber, so it's cool. So he's kind of
Breaking
his
the
are
waters.
really hit or miss. Like sometimes he'll get like
Hit
20
or
viewers,
miss.
and sometimes he gets like 300. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it
But-
also
I
depends
think
a lot
Calvin's
on.
also pretty close.
Yeah, Calvin's.
Yeah, Calvin. Calvin was really good at what Overwatch before.
Mm.
Is that what his thing was? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, we haven't really ever seen like a homegrown Beat Saber player go really high. So who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah.
100 subs
Hopefully
is
that
a lot.
can-
Besides
you.
Bandit, but
Besides
If
Bandit.
you guys want to
Yeah,
sub to
Bandit.
me, I can make that happen.
Blogger.
But yeah, that's. Is there any other notable community things you guys think of like that are
Oh.
just happening around?
Well, we
Beat
could
Saber?
talk about people's rank changes. Fern climbing all the way up to rank 3, and
Yeah.
a few other
Peaking
people.
at rank 3.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane. Like,
From
'Cause he'd
like
been,
he
like,
did that in like a few
around-
days from 22 too.
yeah,
Yep.
he'd been like rank 30, rank 20, like rank 30 to 20 for the longest of time. I seem to recall,
Mhm.
and then just jumping up like that and giving it a real hard grind. All the way up to
I
rank 3.
remember like a while ago, I was like, wait a second, my Oculus swings are actually really good. Like I was getting like 94.8% on routine, like halfway through the song, and then I'd miss half the notes and fail. And I was like, maybe I'll grind. And then I decided to stream for the first time in a month, and my tracking was like, I couldn't even play fucking Believer
Oculus.
without Lizzie tracking. So I was like, back to mapping, Pepe go.
Damn. Yeah.
But wait, actually, I'm an Omega Brain, Galaxy Brain. I put one of my sensors facing the wrong direction on the ground, and now my tracking is almost perfect. So I
Wow,
might
great.
start grinding again.
What? You put it the opposite way?
I like one's this way, and the other one's like,
Oh, okay.
and then
I understand.
and yeah, I don't know what it does, but like I haven't lost tracking on my Oculus now, so I'm like,
Fair enough. Feels good
Speaking
to
of
have both
Oculus.
system. Yeah.
There are a lot of Oculus players in the top 32 lately.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Top
think
10 is
it's-
like all Oculus right now, except for like maybe one person.
Well, I
Tammy.
think it's still split
Two.
because there's still Tammy, Calades,
Calades is
Orange,
Oculus.
Orange is not top 10 anymore.
Yeah.
Is
Orange
Calades
is,
Oculus?
Orange isn't even
I
top
thought he was.
It's just
top 1 UK right now. GP.
Yeah, it's just Cryo,
Tiger
Sam,
overtook him.
Tammy that have Vive in top 10 right now.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
believe.
Is that it?
I'm
No,
like-
BC Kill.
Oh yeah, BC.
BC
BC
Oh,
Kills
yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
like
Yeah.
Oculus, it's like I feel like I can play at least 4 times longer than Vive before I get
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weight
That's
of
the
the
biggest thing.
controllers.
And
Yeah.
also like the way that you swing once you get used to it, it's more like smooth, whereas like in Vive there's like there's like peak stress
Yeah.
points where like this part of your
Yeah.
swing has more strain than the other one. With this Oculus, the whole swing feels like you're putting the same amount of effort throughout the
Yeah.
entire swing.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pick up a Vive or Oculus. I mean, from I think Nice is gonna sell me his at AX. So
Fog
something
The
her.
like
day
that.
Null comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He's been gone forever, and I don't know if he's been playing. I don't know
He
if
still plays, but
Yeah. He talks in
he's
BS
oh no, he
rewriting.
hasn't
sometimes.
played in a while actually.
He's
He was
rewriting his
playing a little
script
bit.
for his bot. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's recreating the
yeah.
robot to come back.
Yeah. He's gotta rewrite it for Oculus. So
Yeah.
He's getting Will Smith.
Um. Okay. We talk about mapping a little bit. Mapping meta. I mean, it's been jumps for a while, right? A lot of jumps. There's a lot of mixing lately, like jumps and streams. But I mean, jumps are like the main thing that you like. You go into a map and you're like, all right, what parts can I make jumps? Which is very reminiscent of the Osu meta change a couple years
Yeah.
ago, where everyone just started thinking like, hey, where do I put the 1-2 jumps?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing for Beat Saber. I don't personally love jumps. I think they're okay. I don't really love them.
Yeah, I don't like them. I can't do them though, but that's because I haven't back when I played a lot. The jump meta wasn't a thing. Like
Yeah,
Hex's Walk This Way was like the only jump map.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
wasn't even
now
ranked.
Vega's heck.
Yeah.
Everyone thought at least. At the
Yeah,
time.
everything was just
Yeah.
streams back then. It was bad.
Like, I think, that's one of the reasons. Is like I don't really like the jump meta, even though my two most popular maps are Omega jump maps.
Mhm.
So like instead, I'm like, let me just put a bunch of weird ass shit and see if it makes that worth a lot of PP. So
Yeah.
I guess people are gonna decide which one's better, jumps or I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm hitting blocks.
I've
I am. Yeah, go
I've
ahead.
seen an increase of sliders ever since Hypa came out recently.
Yeah, Iraqi.
I've seen a lot of people mappers use sliders.
Yeah, I think Iraqi may have accidentally started the trend, which is cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. Like Sout did it with Candyland, like Neutral Flow, and Hex with Nuclear Star, just using dots like that. And now I feel like a lot of people are now using dot neutral flow a lot more.
yeah, people
see it
think
a lot
about
now.
they
It's
think
like
about it
a normal
more.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, where like people, there's obviously been like a lot of mapping metas that have developed, but for the longest time it was like, how many up downs can I put in which direction, right?
Yeah.
So now people consider like this part of the song would warrant some jumps, or like this part of the song, or this part of my mapping can incorporate neutral flow or things like that. So there's a lot more like brain process going on when you're making maps than there used to be. So.
Yeah, and now a lot of people are thinking about how their streams represent music as well. Like back when, back in September even, like no one was thinking about how their streams represented. Everything was just lines.
Yeah,
and then you just get like one part that's complex.
Yeah, you either had lines or you had like banana complex streams with no
the same four different patterns, same different four complex patterns.
One of the first maps that actually was cool as a stream map was fucking Sidetrack Day, dude. Like there's so many different patterns in that final thing.
Yeah, it combines like two or three.
I still think it's one of the better stream sections in a map.
Yeah, I think one that caught my attention fairly recently was like Ascension to Heaven. Mitchell's remake was actually like pretty good. As far as boring 5-minute stream mats go, like the mapping like of the stream sections themselves are like, like it works, it's good. I think it's fine. But a lot of people don't put that much time into thinking about their stream.
Considering I literally only play stream mats because that's all I can do. Yeah,
I can't fucking stand streams.
I enjoyed it.
I think I've been liking the theory behind like reader maps a lot more lately. Like Kikis, a long time ago he made Kokono no Sose, which was like a hard reader map for the time. It was like people couldn't pass it. Like I'm still top 10.
Melter.
I'm still top 10 on that map. Like it's stupid.
I
So
played
it
the
was,
first 10 seconds and deleted it. So
yeah. I'm sure a lot of people did because it was a huge brain reader map, and like that was like the first time that like anyone saw any of that. So he like remade it. There's some mismaps, but we're gonna work through it. But I think I want to get more maps like that, like ranked, like reader maps, because
Yeah.
there's right now. I mean, anybody who's top 200, 300 can beat every ranked map, right? There's not.
Yeah.
it's just the
Um,
blocks run into your
Yeah, I'm
sabers,
sure.
and you don't really have to think about where the blocks
Yeah.
are.
have you seen Scrappy's map in Q? That's a reader map.
No, I have to look at that.
Yeah, that's a reader map.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's.
We are cursed to just fucking Pepega map. I don't know if that's rankable though. To be honest, I mean, I hope it is. It's like
Yeah, we'll see.
they
But
got
yeah,
the T. Ow, fuck the T doubles. I don't know what you fucking call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we just need more fresh stuff in mapping because it's getting kind of
I think
like-
once that'll get ranked, I think that'll help a lot because people will realize sliders are actually worth something now.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Souk testing a new hex map, and I was like, that's a lot of dots. It was like fucking 20 seconds of just like dots, and like every once in a while there's arrows, and it was all over the place. Not that it looked cool.
Yeah.
I think
So hopefully-
I think something like that might be cool where like I don't know if you guys ever played Guitar Hero, but
Mhm.
they would have sections where like you strum and then you just have a bunch of like
Not
taps.
strum. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so if you could like do something like that with Beat Saber with directionals and stuff, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it'd be cool.
So
Yeah. I feel like Hex needs to come up with something new. I feel like he always pushes that.
yeah, well,
Or him or
Hex
Kikas.
Hex gets into a thing where like he finds like a pattern or a section of notes that he really enjoys
Mhm.
using, and then he'll just use it in every map for
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 maps
Have
straight,
you
and then
seen
he
his
finds
angry
something
fur?
else.
Seen a bit of it.
Shortly, yeah. I have very little, but yes,
I can send you a clip so you can put it up there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Am I?
Wait, you can do that? That's fucking epic.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. We have a green
I can
screen.
send you. I can
Yeah,
send you a
green
clip
screen.
of my brain melter pattern for in
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
map.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, when you're
reference
talking about it,
anything.
I can put it there. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it right now because I'm gonna forget in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure. Okay.
but I guess yeah. To wrap to wrap up like mapping, like meta and stuff. Obviously, like we've been talking about it throughout the whole podcast, but like Cheesy's been mapping a lot lately. And something that Cheesy is really good at that a lot of Beat Saber players aren't is timing and rhythm management in maps. People don't know how to do it because they don't have any rhythmic experience. That Beat Saber is their first rhythm game. They don't do anything with music. They just don't know anything. So I found at least when I played like a lot of the earlier maps that Cheesy did was a lot like hex maps, which is fine. It's like because obviously like he's a good mapper and you want to like replicate that kind of map. So like Snowdrive is a very like routine Teo map, right?
Yeah.
But it was good because he put good mapping into good timing and rhythm management, which I think people really underestimate because like uh, I'm not particularly great at that kind of map, but like even I could get like an SS on it because it works. Like the rhythms work well, and I'm personally like a rhythmic player, so it's really good.
Yeah, that's one thing. One thing that's hard for me to find when I want to make a map is like the map has to have like a lot of different rhythms because if not, then I just map everything the same, and then you're like, wait a second, I've been playing this section for 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I know you mentioned too you've been moving to more like Kizu based doubles and stuff.
I love Kizu shot
Yeah,
stuff.
I think Kizu's really underrated.
It's like
Even if
it's like
Even if his endings are pretty Pepega for math,
Yeah.
I think he does some really, really interesting stuff, especially with doubles.
yes, like one thing I don't know if this is how he did it in that map Satan, but like he has a pattern that he does with singles, and then I'm pretty sure he just makes those singles and he puts them as doubles, but it's the same swing pattern. I thought that was cool as fuck.
Mhm.
But also like he does so many crossovers or like so nearly hand claps, but if you actually know what you're doing, you never hand clap on them.
Yeah.
So it's like most of my map testing or like saying it to other people has been like, hey, I smacked my hands together. I'm gonna move those blocks, and then you just have to like find something that's still weird as fuck, and you have no idea what's going on, but you don't hit yourself at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like Hoppaw said, like he's just like a really underappreciated mapper because he comes from like other rhythm games, a lot like Mystic, where he's got an idea of how he wants to do stuff, and he just makes it work in Beat Saber. And so, but he does these like really crazy, hard, insane patterns, and all of his maps are like 15 stars,
Yeah.
and they're like unrankable because he does crazy stuff, but like they're really good, and I don't think people touch them because they're like intimidated by it, or
I think
it's not ranked, or so.
I think that one thing that ranked mappers don't do enough is like they all map kind of the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
What they don't do is that one thing I do is I find mappers like Kizu, and I think Hex does the same where he finds certain mappers
Yeah, he
and he's
does.
like and he just sees like something that they do that like fuck, that's genius. I'm gonna do that in my next map and make it rankable. And then that's
Yep.
why people are like, holy shit, like Hex did this thing or
Yeah.
Cheesy did this thing
When
or
like
whoever did
other
this
people have
thing.
done it and you've
And
taken
then like
inspiration from
you
that.
find out we just fucking copy and paste it from an unrankable map that everyone hates fucking
Yep.
pattern.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
another one of those mappers that you could look for patterns for is he came up very recently. His name's like Dr. Mark, and some of his maps that he's been making recently are really really fun.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't think they're really rankable, but
No, but they're really
they're a
fun,
lot of
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I just want to say BP Bear makes some fucking cool stuff, but it's like I don't know, man. Like I can't get into 15 seconds of some of his maps, even on 50%. And then I look at some players like Cute play, and he's just like, "Yeah, I cite Reddit to 3 minutes." I'm like, okay. Like there's some things where
Yeah.
it's like, it's so fucking technical that I don't even know how my fucking brain could comprehend. But you can like take small bits of that and put it in your map, and it just makes it like 100 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like some of BB Bear's stuff. Like I remember back, I don't remember the name of the song anymore, but there was a song where it's like a happy song, and then it goes like really dark and like
Oh
messed
yeah.
up. And like me and Cute had the only passes on that song for a long time. Like
Dude, Cute
no
is
one played it.
fucking. Cute is so fucking good at like
Yeah.
playing weird stuff. It's actually insane.
I
That's
kind of
my
want to
son,
get
by the way.
I kind of want to get back into playing like technical maps like that because like I think they're like really fun. It's like a different part of Beat Saber
Yeah.
that like no one touches. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, it'd be
cool.
nice
I
to
think
One
see.
maps
the fact
that
that
I
Labyrinth is ranked is so good because it's like pretty techy, and then
What's the
people
one?
are like, "This Labyrinth,"
Oh yeah.
and people are just like, "This map sucks. I hate this map. Why is this ranked?" I'm like, "Haha, just learn the pattern, forehead. It's actually not that bad."
Yeah. I've been noticing a lot of people get really upset about maps like Quo Vadis, Mermaris, Labyrinth,
It's just a different kind
what
of map.
Fantasia. Like
Because
people
the
just get
blocks don't run into your
Yeah,
sabers,
exactly, yeah.
forehead.
yeah. I mean they just I don't know. I mean I've seen like a lot. It's not like one or two people. Like it's a lot of
Yeah.
people get like really upset about it, and
It's
it's like
because it's not meta mapping.
it's just a different part of the game. Like you just have to learn
Mhm.
how to do it. Like I don't know.
And then
Yeah.
those same people will complain about nothing changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're all the
Yeah.
maps are the same, and then the maps that are completely different, they just don't like. It's like, what do you mean?
That's like a huge challenge on the ranking team is
Yeah.
just like you just have to just ignore it because like people ask for new stuff and you give them new stuff and they say this isn't like Teo, I want the other, so and you just have to like shove it off to the side at
I
some
think
point.
another thing that it might be a bit of mappers do, where like you got mappers like Squeaksies, who's like, I'm just gonna make this Pepega as fuck, and then you have mappers that are like, I want to get a lot of upvotes, so I'm gonna make a map that's just fucking basic as shit that I know people will like and will get ranked.
Yeah.
Those are like the
Yeah.
two kind of mappers that I've noticed.
hmm Yeah, you have mappers
I
that are like
species
willing.
stuff though.
Yeah, no, I do too. I've there's a lot of mappers though that are like willing to experiment at the like risk of
Being
getting
flamed, I
down
guess.
votes
Yeah.
and things like that. where then you have other people that are just like, I'm just gonna map safe and I'm just gonna get 50 likes on my
Yeah,
thing.
I
But
feel like Hex is very experimental in difficulty, not maybe not like some like very experimental patterns, but like at least in like I don't know if this is gonna get ranked because it's fucking really difficult, but I'm gonna map it
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
he
know
tries.
someone who's really good at experimenting and having the outcome good is Sod. Sod is really
Oh,
good
I
at
love
that.
Soul maps. Like some of them are
Yeah,
way too big
saw.
brain for me, but I'm pretty sure he's my favorite mapper.
His new monster map is really
Oh,
good,
so
and
good.
It's
it's
really, really
pretty
good.
Have you
different
played
from everything.
hard? Have you played hard, expert, and expert plus? All of them. Like all
Just
three.
Expert Plus
You should play
or
expert
Monster.
and hard as well because they're really good. They're like actually really really good. And in hard and expert, they're just completely different. Like these
So
maps are completely different stuff, and it's so well done.
one problem I have with mapping is like I'm really impatient, which is why I don't do lighting.
Mm.
And like I'll be like, fuck, I'm totally gonna make this map so good. I'm gonna have so much playtesting, and I'm gonna make an expert, like just a pretty
Yeah.
simple expert and hard map. And then I finish it, I'm like, okay, upload to Beat Saber, yeet, and then I'm just like, wait, maybe I shouldn't have done that, and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
regret it
Sal's
later and
really good
take
at
it
doing a
down.
spread of difficulties,
Yeah, that
and
is
Yeah.
one.
they're always
That's one thing
always
that
good. Like you can new players can play his low end stuff like his normals.
that's one thing I think more mappers should do is
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
because then like the thing about like having multiple difficulties is like the maps are gonna be really popular because of Expert Plus, but players will get used to downloading those maps anyway because they'll know there'll be
Yeah.
easier difficulties. Like in Osu, like
Yeah. It's like
Mm.
you can
everyone
look at a
knows
map
if you download a Mystic
and
map, you've got a lower
Yeah.
difficulty.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
that's one thing more mappers should do. Even though I mean I don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's. I mean, it's fine even if you don't do it. But yeah, no, for sure. Like, there's. I think a lot of mappers right now, it's like you said, they get kind of impatient. So they'll finish a map and then they'll just chuck it on Beat Saber. Where like Saw will work on a map for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And then it'll have perfect, easy, normal, hard, expert, expert plus, lights, boom, good to go. And that's like one thing I learned a lot from him is when I was learning how to map is it's just like you just have to be patient, right? Like you can't just yeet your map. Like just to be patient and make sure that it's good. So
Yeah.
Iraqi's really good with that too. He'll get
Yep.
like tens, 20s, 30s
Mhm.
of people testing
Yep.
their test plays.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's you just gotta like be a little patient with your maps and it also is good too because like if you take it like on one hand like yeah you're no you're not releasing your map whatever but on the other hand like if you're asking another lighter to light your map or you're having like 6 or 7 different people playtest it like you can then go make like a lower difficulty in the meantime while you're waiting because nothing's going to change
Yeah.
right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Well, you're
There's
waiting
one
for
thing I
feedback.
saw on the map someone wanted me to give feedback on that I really wanted to get ranked, even though like the entire map looked boring as fuck because it was like kind of like simple. Wasn't really simple, but it was like if a section had a rhythm, then it would be mapped the exact same every single beat.
mm,
And but there's one section where there is a stream section, and because of the way that the sound was in the song, it was the beat was on the blue upswing, and I
mm.
was like, people are gonna fucking hate this. I want this to get ranked.
Yeah, I mean as long as it's
I hope
consistent.
I
Mhm.
hope people do more of that stuff where it's like, hey, this sounds weird as fuck. I'm gonna make it weird as fuck. Instead of like this rhythm has this many notes. I'm gonna make a normal ass pattern, but then put that many notes to the rhythm. It's like
Yeah,
the
right.
the rhythm and the sound should affect like the patterns themselves rather than just how many blocks are there.
Yeah, I think a lot more people are getting better at musical representation in their maps, but there's still a lot of just basic, what can you do?
Like
So,
yeah, like back in the day, like Be Wild, even though it's really old and it's pretty good for how old it was. But
Mhm.
like that's my main complaint was like there's so many rhythms in here and each one is just like that's a sound
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna put a note there and then based on like it's like you have rhythms and then you have a pattern and then you just take the rhythm no matter like what your pattern or anything is, you just take the pattern and you
mm,
just space it out so that it lines up with the rhythm rather than like, oh, this sounds like this, I'm gonna map it like this. It's like
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think when mappers like take the time to make like high pitched sounds as high notes and then like low pitched sounds as low notes, like that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
But you don't see it often. So yeah.
Yeah. Next thing we could talk about in mapping is Ashley Wright and her Discord having the Camellia mashup. the 12-minute Camellia song. That like 30
Watch this.
people.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
like.
hear anything
Holy
about
shit.
Oh really? Hell,
Oh yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
know
yeah.
about
There's like
that either.
there's loads of hexes in it. Perds like Mystic, Nuke Time. Yeah, there's loads
Huh.
of like popular mappers. They've got a load of new people mapping as well. I did a part with Pug, so you know it's going to be Papega. Pug's part is so Papega. But yeah, starting to test it soon. But yeah, it's going to take a while, obviously, because it's 12 minutes. But there's like 25 people mapping on that. A load of new people getting introduced to mapping, like paired up with expert mappers. Yeah. So hopefully that comes out soon-ish. Probably be a month off.
Long songs like that are kind of tough, especially if you're doing it with like so many people, because then you just get like the song just becomes so inconsistent. But
yeah, it should be fun to play though.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Ocean favorites.
Ocean favorite smile.
Ocean favorites is like the worst thing we ever did. It's honestly terrible.
Never played it actually. Not gonna lie.
I played OC favorites and I played about 5 seconds of it and I was like, this is what the hell?
It's,
and then
it's very bad. It's not worth playing.
Fair enough.
Well, we were going to talk about some viewer questions, but no one asked anything in the Discord.
That's fucking epic, dude. I'm a viewer though. I can ask. Wait, I don't want to ask any questions though. I can't think of anything.
Okay, yeah.
But in the future, if you watch this podcast, if you have questions you want us to answer, please post them in Discord, post them on YouTube. We literally got like nothing. There was only meme questions, which I expected from this community, but
actually, I did ask a question. Wait, I did ask a question. I said, well, I don't think this was like in the question thing, but I said, can you pay me to be on your show? And you didn't pay me, but I'm on your show. So
yeah, here you are.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Pogger.
Free guests.
But no, like seriously, like please, like we want to answer your questions. It doesn't. I don't care what the question is. It could be like, how did you pick that map pool for that tournament, or how did you put the name card in the YouTube? I don't get like literally anything. Like if you
anything
have any questions, like,
do you prefer Nick Muffins?
No.
Do makers get paid? That was an actual question. Got like, no, we don't. By the way.
Like, oh man. Yeah, anything CubeCommunity related, YouTube related, Twitch related, anything. We'll just be.
Please ask questions. If you
also,
have,
if you have,
I mean, even. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have topics or something that you want us to discuss, that's also nice.
If you got topics you want us to talk about, if you got people you want us to bring on here, if you got, even if you have questions for other things like ranking stuff, like we're not going to do a whole podcast on ranking probably, but I mean we can talk about it a little bit. So just ask.
Ask away.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like please like do that stuff. I have some short interview questions for Cheesy, but before we get there, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about before we
end with the interview?
Into the final quarter or so of our.
I think I'm good.
Nothing that I can think of.
No, nothing I can think of either.
Okay. Cool.
Keep submitting footage, please.
Yeah, keep submitting footage. We need a lot.
Oh, also, I'll touch on this quick. The footage doesn't need to be like high-level gameplay all the time, top 10s and stuff like that. If it's just, especially if it's just super high quality, like 1440p or 1080p 60 at decent bit rate, just super smooth, nice gameplay.
You had a 1440p play recently.
I had two, yeah. I had one from Gigabyte and one from, I can't remember his name. Tamflum, something like that. Yeah,
Timemark, I think it was something like that.
But yeah, it's just really nice gameplay. So anything like that, like I'm a stickler for like high stuff.
We'll have to edit his proper name pronunciation over your.
It'd be on the screen. I'll put it up on the screen.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let me look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tyflum.
Oh yeah,
Tyflum, something like that. But yeah, he was doing like submitted something, and I was like, oh, this looks so clean, and it's an FC on just like a normal map, and it looks like a decent map. It's like, normal FC stuff is just nice. Like double FC is like.
It doesn't have to be 95% nuclear star.
Yeah,
channel,
yeah,
yeah. It's like 2Flome or whatever.
Yeah.
TEUFLUM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, so footage doesn't have to be there, or if it's different, like anything different as well. Like we have our Sunday
PP
videos,
bear
like
maps.
we had the Random Kenny video, which was the Minecraft one. We've had
That's a good one.
Kyle on with just any modifier he has just on. Yeah, so different stuff will get you on the channel as well.
Do we have a 6-lane besides the highlight stuff?
Yeah, we've got 6-lane stuff. We've had Gigabyte play a 6-lane and Fee played a 6-lane as well. Sook, I think, has a 6-lane up as well. Oh no, yeah. Starlight Lullaby is up there. Stardust Lullaby, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that was.
He also has it's not a actual video, but in highlights he did the ending of 6-lane Nisei
Yeah,
Mono.
that was insane.
Yep. Yep. I'd like to see more maps made for 5 or 6-lane instead
Hex
of
make a 6-lane challenge map, please.
instead of just like converting for.
I'm kind of sure I saw somewhere about a mapper doing a 6-lane.
I'm sure there is.
I think it might be.
Sniffy's wanted to do 14 lanes.
Oh my god, yeah, he asked. He's
yeah.
like, I know there's 6 lanes, but can I do 14? Or like Sniffy, like,
dude, please do.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He's an interesting person. Honestly, I'd like to see him like as like an interview or something.
Yeah, interview Sniffy.
It'd be interesting to get some input from Sniffy on why he does what he does.
When I was streaming once, I actually asked him what his motivation for mapping was, just because I was curious. And he said, I don't know, it's just what I like to do. I like I spend most of my time making video games, and then I just like to come home. It's like a hobby. Come back to Beat Saber and make the most dickhead shit.
That's funny.
CTFAF is fucking pog.
That's good. Yeah, maybe we can get him on. I'm sure he'd be down if he has free time.
Yeah, he gets busy and disappears sometimes.
Yeah,
Does he play his own maps?
Does he play his own maps?
Oh, I don't need. I mean, he has VR, but I don't think he plays really.
Yeah.
Let's ask Cheesy a few questions here, and then we probably wrap it up for the week. So, Cheesy, question 1: what got you into Beat Saber in the first place?
So, I think it was Kala. My friend Kala was like, "Look at this game, dude. It's cool." And it was before it came out. It was in like March. And then he's like, "I don't know when it's coming out, but it looks cool." And I was like, "Okay." And then I didn't think much about it. And then I joined on him. He's like, "That the Beat Saber game, it came out today." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll buy it because no one's gonna be on VR chat." So then I played it for a couple hours. Like, this is cool. And I think I played it for 6 hours. And then the next day, I joined on someone, and he's like, "Cheesy, how long did you fucking play Beat Saber? I saw you on the top of like my friend leaderboard." And this is like a person that like you'd expect to have like a lot of friends. And so I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Cool, Senpai noticed me." So I played a little bit more, and then eventually I was like, "There's nothing cool here, and there are no good custom maps at the time. They're like just all fucking trash." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I stopped playing for 2 weeks, and then the same guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Cheesy, I told Orange to put you in the invitational, so I hope you're practicing." And I was like, I've played 6 hours, and then I just grinded for like I grinded like 20 hours in 2 weeks before the invitational, and so by the end of the invitational, I had 45 hours, and I still I still beat Vulas. Fuck you, Vulas. And then beat him 4-0, just saying, and DJ did better as well. So, but anyway, and then after that, I was like, maybe I'm not trash. So then I kind of just kept playing, and I was like one of the best complex stream players for like the first 6 months of the game or something like that because I actually knew how they worked. So that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going into your stream once when like very early BSPD days where like no one knew each other. And because I couldn't do complex streams, and I was like, dude, how do you do this? And then like you showed me, and I thought that was really cool because like we didn't know each other at all except for being in the same server, so that was cool.
I just learned by grinding jewels over and over again.
Yeah. I think Akasha was the first complex stream map that I beat. So
It eventually just becomes up and down, and you don't think about it.
yeah,
Basically,
Oh
for
yeah,
complex
now
streams for
like
me,
you
I
read it
ran
all
into
so easy.
I ran into
So
sidetrack day and I couldn't pass it for like 3 hours, so I slowed it down to
mm,
like as slow as I could, and I just came up with a pattern that I could do with my arms every single time. And
yeah,
then after that, I figured that out. And then the Snoop pattern, if you guys remember that,
pizza.
that was
yeah,
like the hardest pattern for like months. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna sit down. And I figured out it's actually like the biggest thing about it is it's not like a little short pattern. It's actually like a
It's
pretty
a
long
Yeah, it
pattern to
is.
really
Yeah.
decipher.
long.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I figured out how it worked, and I just came up with the Snoop.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's
12 note long pattern. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
yeah. And so I
It's
was
not
like, oh, so
easy.
that's how you do it. And then like I would just started seeing it, and then everyone's like, what the fuck? And so that's kind of like, and then I played End Time, the old End Time.
Mhm,
I just played that for like 3 days straight, and I was like the third person to pass most complex stream maps because I
mhm.
was just like I would just grind complex streams and figure out how they work because they interested me. And then what were we talking about? But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
no, we're just discussing complex
yeah,
streams and stuff.
basically
Yeah,
complex streams were interesting, so I just grinded them and came up with like patterns for each individual one. And then I was like,
yeah,
okay, so like when I see certain visual patterns visually, like I'll just switch my arm pattern
Mhm.
and then I just
mhm,
FC them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. So for a while, you were like top 15, top 10, like pretty
Yeah, I
consistently.
was top 10 for a month, and then
Mhm.
most of the time I was top 15 for like 4 months. And then
Yeah,
after I kind of stopped playing, like I didn't play nearly as much, which was around TwitchCon. I went from rank
yeah,
13 to like rank 20 something, and then
mhm.
I just kind of never got back into grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when you were like that high, did you purposely grind to get really high rank, or was it just something that kind of just happened?
I purposely grind to beat my friends. It just happened that my friends were top 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think after a
So
while, when BSPD was first made, when it was still like a relevant thing, we all got like really competitive with each other because it was like a good group of people that you could be like healthily competitive with. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't
a lot of
There was
it wasn't
banter,
yeah,
toxic.
and
So
it was
like
yeah.
one thing a lot of people don't know is like Orange, even before Beat Saber ever came out, was one of my closest friends, and he
mm,
was like top 5 for the longest time. So I
yeah,
was grinding to beat his scores. So naturally, I just kind of
right.
got good, I guess.
You
Yeah.
know, I think on now that I think about it, I think the reason why I ended up climbing higher than just 32 was because of you.
Mm.
I've had a couple people tell me that because I'm fucking toxic. They're like, I just want to beat your ass. So they just pass it.
I sort of beat Cheesy, the toxic boy.
That's why Tino. That's why Tino climbed. Like I got into his stream when he was ranked 1400. I was like, your swings are pretty good for 1400 kick. And then he's like, thanks, dude, because at the time it wasn't like toxic. And then like
Mm.
3 weeks later, he was top 100. I'm like, okay, you're trash. And I start shit talking
Uh,
the fuck out of him. And then he got so fucking angry that like a week later he got like rank 15 or some shit. And I was like, okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
hold on.
Please don't beat me up, Tino
Yeah,
Senpai.
yeah, Tino's a guy that could beat you up
Yeah.
IRL. He's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
massive.
he is, dude. He's fucking. He's Chad. He's a fucking Chad, dude.
He's
He'll fucking
IRL
long
Chad.
dick you.
um, there one more. Yeah, so I noticed. I remember a lot of people. And you're kind of. I know that you and Tammy and even and I think me, maybe Vulis for the longest time were just normal grip players.
Yep.
So everyone was changing. Everyone was changing, but I know I know that specifically like you, Tammy, and me, and maybe one or two other people that were high rank at the time, like just weren't. No, they just weren't. We just refused to change.
Yeah.
Like what made you? I know you play B grip now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what made you change?
So basically, the way that I played Beat Saber and got so good at Beat Saber, like when I was rank 6, is any single time that I saw any Tammy gameplay, I would see how his sabers looked in game, and I would just look at my sabers when I played in game, and I would
Mm,
find the arm movements that made the exact same like swings as that. And
mm,
so like I would notice that even though I'm swinging less or slower, that's actually one huge tip though. Swing slower.
yeah.
Swinging slower actually increases your accuracy by like 3%, and like it's actually insane. So I was like, Tammy swinging like this. I'm gonna swing like this, and like Tammy played normal grip, so obviously
Mm,
I'm gonna play normal grip because that's how I played. And then like he switched to B grip, or like half switched to B grip, and then I half
Yeah.
switched to B grip, and then he switched completely to B grip, and then I switched completely to B grip. So basically, it was like Tammy was the best player in Vive. So I'm just gonna literally look at his gameplay and swing exactly how he swings. And like a lot of my old VODs that you can't watch anymore, you can see like Tammy swings this way. 2 months later, you look at like one of my VODs, and it's like it looks exactly the same as like Tammy like 2 months ago. So I was basically Tammy, but 2 months previous for like the longest time.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that a lot before.
Yeah, mimicking Tammy is also what helped me improve.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Tammy's
think a lot of
fucking
people
god.
did
Like
that.
if you saw him play the Big Black back in the day,
Oh my
holy
god.
shit, dude!
Yeah.
That
I'm
was
like Tammy,
insane.
how the fuck do you like Tammy's like, normal grip sucks. This map is really difficult. I'm just gonna try that much harder, and then he just like does some like Olympic level
Yeah, that was
fucking
so.
shit. I'm like,
That was insane at the time, all the way back then.
it's still
I think-
insane if
Yeah.
you watch him. I honestly still
Yeah.
think that's an insane score on it if you play normal grip.
Yeah.
I think even to this day, like Tammy, and like it sounds strange to say this, but Tammy might be one of the most underrated players because, especially lately, I mean, no one really talks about Tammy anymore, right? Because he's,
He never
just-
plays, and he still
he
can
doesn't
get
play,
top
yeah.
one.
yeah, he does. He barely plays, and he'll still just like new ranked maps come out, and he goes on for like one day, and he's like top 5 on all of them, and then
Yeah, I
he's,
remember
like,
he was rank 4. Someone's like, dude, Tammy sucks. He's rank 4 now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I look at his recent scores. Fucking, he hadn't played in 2 weeks. And he got on an hour later. He was rank 1 again by like 4,
Yeah,
by like
it's-
200 PP or something.
It's like people like to say like, oh, Tammy's 4 now, he sucks, but like Tammy has been number 1
So
Since
forever.
long.
the existence.
for so
Like, how
long.
could you say he's literally kept
How
number
long
one
was
for
he
And then-
tested for?
7 months? I'm
For,
pretty
like,
sure.
months, like
Yeah.
5 months,
6,
maybe
At least,
5 or 6
at least.
Just
before Not Long
uncontested
came
number
out.
1. Like, yeah.
No way.
Like,
And now
400
he's
PP from number
rank
2.
1 in
It's like-
Audica too, right?
Oh yeah,
He's,
got
he's
right
really
one
high
of
rank.
all
He's
stuff in
really good at
Nautica.
Audica.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's such a good, consistent player, and like I think people
And then
just
you
really
play
they don't
Apex with
remember.
him, and he fucking kills an entire squad, and he's like across the map. He's like, guys, I just killed 3 squads. And we're like, Tammy, where are you? With the circles over here. It's like, sorry, I was
Yeah.
killing 3 squads by myself. One sec.
Yeah,
He also
Yeah,
wrecked
Tammy's,
I'm a cutie pie on his stream.
He did, dude, and he also killed
Yes.
Mendo.
Mendoza. Yeah, he beat him up. Yeah, Tammy's really good at a lot of stuff. He's kind of like Orange in that aspect.
Mhm.
He's Tammy and
They're
Orange
just
are,
natural born
yeah,
gamers.
awesome.
They're
just-
gamers.
And fucking
Gamers.
Tammy has a gamer voice too, dude. He could totally do
Yeah.
ASMR, dude.
He had
Beat
a
Saber
gamer voice.
ASMR.
Go on, maybe one day we can get Tammy on the podcast.
He can do
Yeah.
ASMR.
ASMR can Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
So Cheesy, I need you to pick your favorite maps. I need one ranked map and one unranked map. That's your favorite.
Nuclear Star is my favorite ranked map.
Yeah, same.
Unranked map is fuck. What is I mean, there's so many like Kizu maps that I like. I guess like right now I like Satan by Kizu.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a pretty papagan map. But
Yeah, cheesy
fun.
like Satan.
I love Satan.
Yeah.
That's a voice.
I want Satan to never mind.
No, I think it's funny too because I think Atomic also said that Nuclear Star is his favorite rank.
Mhm.
It's a very fun
think
map.
I think it's the best ranked
Yeah.
map in my.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
just
agree.
a ball.
Yeah.
Because Happy
It's really
Saying,
fun.
Happy Song is
Happy
like, it's like easy and then there's jumps and then
Yeah.
there's streams.
Yeah,
But like Nuclear
yeah.
Star, there's like 18 different fucking things in there.
It's
We
hard.
can all thank Xander for
It's
that.
consistently hard. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah,
I know
they're
you
good at,
don't
like.
care for a lot of your maps, but what's your favorite map that you mapped?
Fuck, they all kind of suck. But like the newest one that I'm still in the process of mapping that I haven't released yet is probably the one that I've been like, holy shit, this might actually be good.
Yeah.
'Cause it's essentially Happy Song, except I make you hate it more because it's got weird patterns. But let's see, ones that are released, I'd say maybe not. We are not. Maybe if you're gonna jump is probably the most solid one. I think. I think if you're gonna jump out of just objective map quality is probably the best one, and it's in ranking queue. Smile. So hopefully you guys could go ahead and vote on that because I actually think it's objectively like my best map, even though it starts on an up, and people are like, "Why is it starting an up?" I'm like, "It's an upbeat smile, so it's gonna start an up swing."
Yeah. Nah, that's cool. And then, well, I have actually two questions. I was gonna say this is the last one, but I got two. So one, earlier you mentioned swinging slower is like really good piece of advice. Is there any other like hard hitting advice you'd give people that are trying like rank
Stop looking at
200?
your fucking PP, dude. Like, I swear to God, some players like,
Yeah.
why can't I get my rank higher? I'm like, maybe because all you do is play the same maps. Like, you memorize these patterns instead of playing like Kizu maps or other maps where like, hey, I got an SS on a map that I like most people can barely fucking hit the notes. I'm like, you
Yeah.
learn. You just need to like learn to do fucking everything really well, and also like the thing is like not playing the same maps over and over again. It's like if you're playing the same maps over and over again, like your brain just doesn't absorb
Mm,
information from the same map. It's like you're
yeah.
fucking trying to squeeze a sponge that has no water in it. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
you have to like stimulate your brain by seeing blocks that you haven't seen before. Because if you're playing the same map, you already know where the next blocks are gonna be. So
Yeah.
you just don't react. You just don't react to them because you already know where they're
Hmm.
gonna be.
You know
But
where
if you
you've
go
been
to
caught
like a
out
new
before.
if you go to a new map, even if it's the same pattern because it's a new map and you aren't certain already that it's going to be the same pattern, like
Mm,
you sort of solidify that pattern more, I guess, and then also learn new patterns. So just play unranked maps a lot, basically.
yeah. I think that's really good because I think a lot of people just they, especially newer players, they see that there's a ranking and they're like, I want to be number one. So they only play rank maps, and like if it's not a rank map, it's not worth their time. Like back in the day,
I've had people tell me that exactly. Like
yeah,
I requested a map and I was like, "Hey, can you test this for me?" And then he played it and it was hard. He's like, "This is a really hard map, and honestly, if it's not ranked, it's not worth my time." And I was like,
yeah,
"Holy
Oh.
shit, that's the dumb thing I've ever heard in my life." So
yeah. I know, like back when Whoops used to play a lot, he would kind of meme about that. He wasn't like super serious about it, but it was always like a running joke in his channel that like if
mhm,
it's not ranked, it's not worth my time. But
people actually think
like
that. Like,
but like it's really important to play unranked maps and see things that you haven't seen before, even if the map is unrankable. Like you just like you have to learn like
Yeah.
other aspects of the game. Like there's things like it feels weird to call out like my own map, but like my newest one, Yell, and then like Azer's Do Alive and maps like that that aren't ranked but have really strange like
Mhm.
patterns in the drop. People don't know
Mhm.
how to play them. They get like 85% because they just or like 82% because they just don't know how to play. They just don't.
Yeah.
It's a pattern they've never seen
mhm.
before.
Video
So
up on the
like
channel, by the way, of Yell.
yeah. I already remapped it. I literally
Mhm.
already remapped it.
Aye.
But yeah, no, there's things like that are just like people don't ever see it and they don't learn other weird patterns because it doesn't get ranked. Like
And like people don't look at other people play. That's another thing. Like they'll just like they're just like I'm this rank, so I'm this good. They don't like
mm,
look at anyone else. Like there's so many good players that
Yeah.
are like super
Yeah, like
below. I
Sook.
can't think of any off the top of my head, but like oh yeah, like Sook. I mean
mm,
Sook's
Sook's
accuracy
pretty.
is
Yeah.
trash to be
Mm.
honest, but like Sook Sook is one of the best players at not dying in the game.
Yeah.
mm,
Like you can throw almost fucking anything at him and he will not fail the map. But
Yeah.
yeah.
like that's like people just look at their rank too much, and if it's like
Yeah. There's a load of people in like
oh,
top one, like just in top 1,000 around that kind of rank area that are like really good,
and
but just don't
another
climb.
thing I noticed, especially with low rank players, is like I guess the biggest tip I can say is like do not accept anything other than 100 on any block in the entire game. Do
Mhm.
not make like no excuses, no matter how
Mm,
fast or how impossible you think it is. If you can't get 100 on that block, you need to figure out how to because that's how you're gonna rank up. And like, I see so many players that are like, I need to beat this ranked map. Okay, I got 75% of it. Good, I don't have to play it anymore. It's like,
yeah.
and they're like, I think it's like I need to play these maps that I haven't played yet because I'll get more PP from them. And I'm like,
Mm,
no, just if you have a shit score on a map, just like I know I say don't grind a map, but like don't just leave it in the back. Like you have to be like, okay, that's a hard map and I barely passed it or whatever, or like
Yeah.
even if it
Time to
was pretty
practice.
easy, but I got a low score.
Mhm.
Like you need to not settle for anything, but like I you need to be able to say to every single map that's ranked, I could SS this map.
mm,
And if you can't SS if you can't say that you can SS that map, like it's possible for you to, then like basically, I mean, missing is like whatever.
mm,
That's the easiest thing to fix. But like the biggest thing is like if you look at a pattern and you notice that you consistently lose accuracy on it, even if you full combo it, or you don't get 100% on every block, or like 100 on every block,
mm.
that's where you need to improve.
Yeah.
I think you just need like a healthy mix of practicing ranked maps and learning things that aren't in ranked maps. So
Mhm.
learning how
Yeah,
to read the
swings
blocks. People
being
really go ahead. Yeah.
being good at swinging. If you have good swings, you can get rank 1. Like you
Hmm.
Mhm.
just have to learn how to not miss, basically. But that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing is like you need to swing perfectly, and if you don't swing perfectly, then you're never gonna get anywhere,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big thing too. Is like people just they forget how to read patterns because, like you said, they just grind the same map over and over again. So
Yeah.
So,
just
oh,
don't.
pattern that I do not play 1 million time. Fuck, this map is bad.
Yeah,
I downvote.
yeah. So something non Beat Saber related, we can end it on a little lighter. Audica came out. I know a lot of the Beat Saber players bought it. Um, a lot of them returned it. I was one of them. Um, I mean, it's a cool concept. It's a rhythm game, VR, shooter, kind of less active than Beat Saber. So it's kind of nice that you don't get like you don't sweat your ass off every time you play it. Um, do you guys have any opinions on it? You have
Yes,
anything to say or
I have many opinion.
yeah,
Hmm.
go ahead.
I still think it could be a good game if a couple things happen.
Yeah,
One of the main things like just with the two main problems I had with the game, like just core fundamentals, is the
yeah,
scoring system is trash. Like
yeah, yeah.
oh fuck, I shot the 1 pixel to the left and 1 millisecond too late. Now my score is slightly lower than like the micro grinding bit that's like in Beat Saber. The micro
Mm,
grinding is like 100 times worse because
yeah.
it's essentially RNG. Like there needs
Yeah.
to be a threshold, and if you're past that threshold, you get 100%, like
Hmm.
100%. Like, and it doesn't. It needs to be like the form shit. That's bullshit. Fuck that. I don't want to like.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
bullshit.
Having to
And
have
like
your arms,
there needs to be like a fairly large, like if you hit the block in this threshold of timing and this threshold of accuracy, you get 100%.
Yeah.
Not like what I said earlier. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
so the scoring system sucks. Second thing, the melee notes spawn timing. Like I
Hmm.
don't care about the hitboxes. I
I
figured
think they
out how
just
to
fixed
how
that.
to
They
no,
fixed
they
the
fixed
hit
the
boxes. They
hitboxes.
didn't
Oh,
I
fix
was
the
fine with the
timing.
hitboxes because I experimented a bit and I found out how to swing on them and get 100%. Like I don't know if it's like a glitch or something, but I literally figured
Yeah, you
out
can
that
just like tap them.
if the thing is no, this is what I figured out is if I go with if it comes on my left, if I go with the opposite arm and I do an upswing,
Yeah,
it's like I don't care how lightly I would swing, it would hit
yeah.
every single time, and it was be 2,000 every time. But the main problem I had with the melee notes was like let's say this as an example, the shoot notes, it spawns 1 beat later, you shoot it. The
Hmm.
hit note was like it spawns 3 beats later, you shoot it or you hit it.
Hmm.
So it's like you would see a melee note spawn, then you would see 2 shoot note spawns, so you'd think, oh shit, I'm gonna hit and then I'm gonna shoot 2 times. No, you'd
Yep.
shoot 2 times, then you'd hit, and it's just like
Hmm.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? And
Yeah.
it was
Yep.
just like so unreadable. That was
The same. There's
actually
the same. That's
game
my
breaking.
biggest problem is that the spawn timing. Because like you said, like you see a note and then you see another note and you're like, okay, I have to hit this one, take care of this one, and then deal with that one. But like, it's not the correct. It's not the
Like
correct
I'm
order.
literally
So
there's sections in the mapping is kind of Pepega. Like you'd be like, oh shit, I'm shooting over here, and then like the little tiny indicator would go by, and you'd be like, where are the notes? And then you'd fail, you'd be like, oh shit, there's like a bunch of notes directly behind me. But
yeah.
other than the mapping, it's like there were parts in a map where I'd see a note spawn, and then I'd see afterward, like well afterward, I'd see 2 shoot notes spawn, and I'd be like, okay, and then the 2 shoot note boats go by, and it's like miss. I'm like, wait, I just hit the melee note. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah. I that was like I noticed that right away because like I play other rhythm games. I played Osu for a really long time, and I play hidden only on Osu, and so like I'm very very used to reading like this note, then this note, then this note, in the
Hmm.
order that I see them, and then Audica comes along, and they're like this note. After are these notes, but they're first actually. So that was
Yeah, like I
definitely
think
more fun.
the Beat Saber and Alika had the same problem with the scoring system where they're trying too hard to be a
Hmm.
VR rhythm game rather than just a rhythm game.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah,
oh shit, we can calculate exactly how
Overcomplicating.
accurate
Yeah.
someone is with like this, or exactly the timing and like and like
yeah,
the form that your arms are and stuff like that. And then like
yeah.
just give me either 100% 50% or 25% of the score. Like I want to be able to get 100%. I don't want to get like an amazing score, like I hit every single thing, but because some dude like more accurately held his arms out and got lucky with he shot like slightly more in the middle,
Mhm.
like or whatever, and he shot 1 millisecond like better than me. Like he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, there you go. He missed a couple, but he fucking got lucky with where he shot. So now he's like 2 points above me.
I think there's a lot of things that Audica can do to make the game better, but like I said, for now, I returned it, and if it gets better, I'll buy it again. I have no issue
Yeah,
with buying it
same.
again.
Yeah.
but
That's
no
my biggest
problem.
issue with even Beat Saber right now. It's like you should be able to overscore if that makes sense. Like if the
Mm.
scoring system was different in Osu, like a lot of the 100% scores would be like micro grinding, right? Like you'd have like
Mm.
people who are slightly better than other people based on like
Yeah.
millisecond timing. With
Yeah.
Beat Saber, it's like you're not gonna get 110 on every note,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to get 100%. Where like if you're in this within this threshold, you get a perfect score on that note, and then if you do that on every single note, you get 100% on the song. And I brought that up, and some people were like, you shouldn't be able to get 100%. I'm just thinking like, why not though? Like why
Yeah.
not?
It's just because they're used to Beat Saber, and they think that that's how you should do it. So
Yeah.
that's all the questions I had. Is there any last minute input anyone has, or
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
I like the blocks. Those are fun.
the blocks? Yeah, we want to do more with them at some point.
Yeah.
I'm like a child, dude. I
Yeah.
just fucking.
You're gonna go build
No,
some
we
towers. Go build a fort.
Pogger, dude, a fucking block forward.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for second podcast. This should come out what?
Boy. Okay.
What? No, look at the saber. Did you see that?
They won't be able to see it.
It's fucking
It's
force
bouncing
look at
around.
that shit, dude.
It's bouncing still.
The force E.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the second.
This will probably come out
ADD.
Monday when I edit it.
Yeah. So it should be just
we've
about
recorded it
the
differently
same.
this time, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to edit.
Just about 2 weeks apart, and I think we'll continue to do just about 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, we'll try and record them Friday, Saturday, at a push Sunday, and then try and get them out Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Monday will probably be podcast day. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention at the start. We do actually have a Podbean where I'm uploading just the audio version of the podcast as well.
Yeah.
If you guys don't want to watch it on YouTube or want to like
We're
listen
asking
to
about
it,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do actually have a thing,
link.
and I'll link it when we release the podcast as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and what we're going to keep doing is premiering the podcast, so we get the live chat each time we do it, so you guys can chat along as we release the podcast. Just to note that isn't live; it's obviously pre-recorded.
Yeah, we did have a few questions about why we don't do it live. There's a lot of green screen editing that we can do. We're going to be making some changes to the world, so that it's more friendly for this, and it just works better for the format that we wanted in. We may one day do like a live podcast, like just to like we're going to do a live podcast this week.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we'll continue to do recorded. Yeah. And we'll premiere them on YouTube. It was fun last time. There was like 35 people, 40 people on the chat.
Watching,
cool,
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Bye. Yeah.